I rise to second the motion to pay tribute to our colleague, the Honorable Mohammed Segirinya. And perhaps before I do that, I also wish to express my disappointment. The Deputy Prime Minister has just walked in. Before that, there was no one on the front bench. Right, Honorable Speaker, yesterday, I reached out to you intending to move this motion, given that Honorable Segirinya was one of us. The guidance I got was practice normally is the Prime Minister moves the motion and the LOP seconds, something that I was very comfortable with. In fact, I was glad that the motion would be moved by somebody from the government side. It was bothersome that this morning there was no one from government to move the motion. That's very disappointing. I want to appreciate colleagues from the NRM who are here. Honorable Segirinya was an opposition member, but you're here, as we normally do. We have lost several MPs in this 11th Parliament. May God help us, by the way. May God help us. But we are normally united in these times. Majority of those who have died belong to the opposition, I mean the NRM, but we are always here, even as the opposition, in solidarity of colleagues. We quarrel and argue about so many things because we don't agree politically and so on. But then we are colleagues. And in death, that's why we normally are united. So, Madam Deputy Prime Minister, please convey my utmost disappointment in the Prime Minister and your colleagues. Right, Honorable Speaker.
At least appreciate the Speaker was here early.
The Speaker is neutral and doesn't debate. That's why I've not involved the Speaker in my disappointment. I wanted it to settle where it should.
Honorable Prime Minister, that's a very serious message. And I really want you to relay that message. Because when we're in this house, we are one. Please.
All right, Honorable Speaker and colleagues. As I said, I am seconding the motion to pay tribute to our fallen comrade, the Honorable Mohammed Segirinya, Member of Parliament for Kawempe North constituency, who passed on after a very long battle with illness. On behalf of the opposition in Parliament and on my own behalf, I wish to extend commiserations to the family of the Honorable Segirinya, the people of Kawempe North constituency, the National Unity Platform, party he belonged to and loved, and indeed, the entire country on the demise of the Honorable Mohammed Segirinya. Honorable Speaker, death is a painful aspect of life, regardless of the age at which one passes on. However, losing a youthful legislator at 37 years of age, who had huge dreams and aspirations, is so tragic. Honorable Mohammed Segirinya grew up in a humble family, as we all know, as he had always talked about, and faced various challenges that shaped his life. Despite limited resources, he prioritized education and engaged in community activities. Honorable Segirinya was still studying at the time of his death. Some of us think when we get to Parliament, we have arrived. But he said, I'll keep adding knowledge. That's how hungry he was for knowledge. His experiences deepened his understanding of issues affecting ordinary Ugandans, fueling his passion for activism and advocacy for a better country. Honorable Segirinya's journey from grassroots involvement to national recognition showcases his resilience and ability to connect with diverse people, earning him respect in Uganda's political landscape. Honorable Segirinya first gained public attention through his participation in Kampala-based radio talk shows. His frequent spirited calls to these shows earned him recognition as Segirinya Eddobozi ly'Ekyebando, translating to Segirinya, the voice of Kyebando. During these radio engagements, he would refer to himself as MP2B. Each time he would call, he would say, Segirinya Mohammed Eddobozi ly'Ekyebando, MP2B. And this was in the early 2000s, over 15 years before he would eventually become a legislator. This speaks of the fact that when one is resilient and steadfast, it is possible to achieve one's aspirations. When one is resilient and steadfast, it's possible for one to achieve their aspirations. In 2016, he was elected as the Lord Councillor for Kawempe North in Kampala Capital City Authority. He used this position and platform to advocate for social justice and community development. His vibrant personality and commitment to grassroots issues endeared him to many people. During the 2021 elections, Honorable Segirinya contested for the parliamentary seat of Kawempe North under the National Unity Platform and won overwhelmingly. He set out to serve his people in various ways, especially healthcare, filling the gaps that were created by government. Things that we do as members of parliament, which should be done by government, buying ambulances, building healthcare centers, fundraisings. Colleagues normally call us for fundraisings, both opposition and the government side. Fundraising for a government health center, fundraising for this and that. Things that should be taken care of government. But here we are. And Honorable Segirinya was filling those gaps as a member of parliament. Unfortunately, not long after he had joined this august house, he was arrested and jailed for a long period of time over the Vijambia Panga attacks on the population of Masaka region, which saw the killing of many Ugandans. And to date, Right Honorable Speaker, justice eludes the bereaved families because the question of who killed their loved ones has never been answered to date. While in prison, Honorable Segirinya got severely sick and his condition kept deteriorating by the day. He was constantly denied bail, as we all saw, even though his condition was worrisome. Even when government doctors recommended specialized treatment for him that warranted him to be granted bail, the judge still sent him back to prison, where he continued to worsen each passing day. His lawyers made a plea and produced before court medical records signed by government doctors saying this man should be released on bail to go and get specialized treatment. The judge said, no, go back to jail. After a while, Honorable Segirinya was granted bail only for him to be abducted outside Kigo prison by gun-wielding men in plain clothes, in total violation of our country's laws. This disregard for the rule of law continues unabated in our country, and as we have witnessed, it affects all of us, including colleagues on the government side, as you have seen very recently. We must jointly castigate this and call for its end. Many Ugandans have been abducted in similar manner, and to date, they are still missing. All this is in a country which prides itself in following constitutionalism. We should be ashamed of these acts. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the denial of bail to Honorable Muhammad Segirinya feeds into the recent narrative by General Yoweri Museveni lately. He has called for denial of bail and even police bond, something which is not in tandem with our constitutional order. While bail and police bond may not be mandatory, directing judicial officers and police officers not to give them to those before them is unbecoming and should be condemned by us all, because we are all potential victims. Colleagues, we are all potential victims. As we send off Honorable Segirinya, may we commit to respect the rule of law, because he suffered due to the disregard for the rule of law. Of late, we have seen threats by our country's Chief of Defense Forces, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, threatening our neighboring countries, including Kenya, South Sudan, DRC, and the threats have extended to his colleagues in the military, and even leaders in this country. He, for example, threatened to behead and even eliminate the Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, a former member of this House and the leader of the National Unity Platform. This is abhorring and unacceptable. I hope that we can all condemn this and demand for action, because this is not acceptable. While the state continues to disregard these issues and trivialize them, the country suffers disregard for the rule of law. All right-thinking Ugandans should strive for constitutionalism and respect for our country's laws, something Honorable Segirinya was very passionate about. Let's fight for our laws. Let's fight for the constitution before the end us, because that time of reckoning will come, regardless who you are, when you need it to fight for you. If you don't fight for it now, it will not be present to fight for you, regardless who you are, by the way. Rest in peace, Honorable Muhammad Segirinya, Mr. Update.
Weesiimye mattu oli wa mukisa okukira abalala. Omugugu gw'ebizibu by'ettaka gukutikuddwa Brand Property Services Limited ku lw'ettaka eritaliiko nkaayana. Ennyumba eziwedde okuzimbibwa wamu n'ez'okupangisa, apartments ez'okupangisa wamu n'okugula mu mawanga ag'enjawulo okuli Uganda, Kenya, Bungereza, Dubai, America wamu ne Canada. Okuddaabiriza ennyumba oba ebizimbe byo, property management n'abasaveya abakugu abatakufere. Twekwate ku nsonga zonna ezekuusa ku by'ettaka nga kw'otadde n'okugobera ku kyapa kyo. Kati pazo y'eby'ettaka ebadde kukaluubiriza egonjoddwa bw'okwataganye naffe. Tukubire ku noti 703 824 noti 79 oba noti 773 206 58 noti, oba otusange ku MT House omwaliiro ogusooka room 5 ewazana ku Entebbe Road okuliraana ekizimbe kya Muguluma Empire. Tukyalireko ne ku website yaffe www.brandpro.co.ug. Brand Pro Property Services Limited, tutuukiriza birooto.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Praise be to Allah, the Lord of the world, most gracious, most merciful. It is He, the Almighty Allah, who has been explicit in Surah Al-Mulk, the surah that glorifies His might. And it says, and I will translate, Tabaraka alladhi biyadihi al-mulk wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. Alladhi halaka al-maut wal hayat liyabluwakum ayyukum ahsanu amala wa huwa al-azizul ghafur. That blessed be to the one Almighty Allah, in whose hands rests all the authority, and He who is most capable. And that it's He, Allah, who has created life and death, that all humanity shall endure, and He says shall endure, in order to serve as a test to all of us. In many different surahs or chapters of the Quran, Allah has been explicit as He spoke about the journey that we are all going to take. And He says clearly, death is inevitable to all that are there. It's not a law, because laws we can sit here and amend anytime. But death is a must that no human being shall evade. And Allah says that we shall test you with fear, hunger, loss of wealth, and loss of life. Therefore, death is a test, for which test shall only be passed by those who leave behind in perseverance, and those that retain patience and do good things. Every passing on of a comrade or of an individual is a testimony to those that stay behind, that what shall be spoken about you. Honorable Segirinya, today you're the topic. Ya Muhammad Rabban. When I knew you as a young man, you are called Richard, and you stepped forward and told us that I've seen the light and I would like to join Islam. And he gave the Shahada, and he said, indeed, I believe there is one God, that is Allah, and I bear witness that Prophet Muhammad is His messenger. And he was welcomed with pure hands. This pure soul lying here today did not turn back. But he did one noble thing. He did not break his umbilical cord from his relatives. Because keeping blood relations, even when you change religion, is a sign of worship in Islam. And even when you convert and you turn your back against the people that fed you, the people that raised you, is a sin in Islam. He did not break that tie with his mother, with his uncles, with his brothers, and neither did he do so with his children. Therefore, he lived by actions, trying to induce others to join the path that he joined, but he did not coerce them to see the light. In all he said, as I saw him as a young man, he was a radio caller. You know these callback people on the radio. And he used to say, Honorable, one time I would like to be a member of parliament. And I told him, Honorable Segirinya, it takes steps. He said, I'll jump all those steps. So he tried first in 2011. I told him, you will not go through. And he'll bear witness when he stood against Honorable Latif Sebagal. Then he came back and he asked me what happened. I told him, you're fit to be a councillor. Then he said, in 2016, I'll vie to be a councillor. Now I'll follow you. I'll heed to your advice. Indeed, he heeded too. He went and contested and tried to seek the FDC party ticket to no avail. He came back to me and jokingly he said, I have no ticket. I told him it's not the ticket, it's the people. Go to the people. By then he wanted to get the symbol of the clock. He went there, it was not available. On the first nomination day, he came back and said, I don't have the clock. I told him, go and pick whatever symbol is there. He chose the table. Then he said, but I'm too short. People will think I'm a joker. I told him, use the table to your advantage. Fabricate a table, go to every trading center and stand on the table. And tell the people when things go wrong, I'll stand on this table and you'll see me as high as possible, passing on your message. Indeed, finally when, and on a lighter note, finally when everyone had realized that Segirinya was taking this vote, the FDC candidate moved around with the microphone saying, I'm Segirinya Muhammad, please vote for me. I'm the one with the symbol of the key. So Segirinya ran back to me and said, there is something wrong. This person is saying he's Segirinya Muhammad, but vote for the key. You know the symbol of the key. So I told him, get a microphone and go back with the table everywhere and tell them it's me Segirinya Muhammad, the one on the table. Indeed, he did so, and he came out to be victor as an independent for the first time. Having arrived at KCC, one of the lightweight stories, he contested to be speaker of KCC. He contested with the Honorable Kawalia here. And Segirinya Muhammad got one vote, which was his vote. Then he said, this world is really very fun. Even the people that nominated me did not vote for me. But he said, it doesn't matter. History will record that a courageous gentleman called Segirinya once stood to be Speaker of KCCA and had 2 nominees, but only got 1 vote, which was he was sure was his own vote. So history must register now that there was a courageous man who took a step and never thought failure was the end of life. Failing at times is one style of training us to be better. Finally, I would like to thank his party for having come out boldly to grant him the ticket to run on as MP Kawempe North. He fairly deserved it. He went through a lot that we all knew, but let me talk about this, Right Honorable Speaker. The discretion of court in granting bail. I pray, and I would like to address this to all politicians. Please, let us not try to interfere with the works of courts of laws in using their discretionary principles in adjudication of court matters as regards matters of bail. Because bail is one of the rights, is one of the processes where people acquire a free and fair trial. And having this temporary freedom probably would have helped this gentleman go and try to seek medical attention. He would not have gotten lost. But finally, we have him here. And it's us to talk about it here and then and then and that. I think we can do better. I know there are those that do crime, and courts will pass judgment on that person that should not be in society, and that person that should be let to be out and, you know, carry on their court matters while having access to doing their work or being out, having temporary freedom. Therefore, finally, Right Honorable Speaker, from Allah we came, and from Allah we shall all return.
Thank you.
May Allah receive your soul and forgive you for whatsoever you did wrong, Honorable Segirinya, and grant you Jannat Firdaus. May peace be upon all of you.
Abalungi abatuuliriza era abatulaba olunaku olwaleero tukyaddeko ewa Sheikh Ashraf Dembe.
Sebo sanyusa okubalaba amannya agange Seeka Ashraf Dembe akola ku bizibu by'enjawulo. Omuntu singa aba alina ebirwadde musomereddwa tunywa amazzi ga lukuya nga bw'obadde ogalaba tugenda abantu ku kyoto ne twokya emizimu emibi egibabaamu n'okulombeddwa abantu singa abeera ng'ali wano atuuse sobola okumulombereddwa ne waba atatuuse nga mpadde amannya ge naye ng'ali wala neetaase enamba yange yeno eri 0707363711 namwe bannyinaffe abali ebweru oyagala okuba nti oyagala okulombera ku ddwa ng'olina ebizibu visa zibuze amaka gakolongotana sente zikola zimpita mu ngalo ojja kumpeereza ekifaananyi kyo n'amanyago ebyo byokka bijja kummala nja kukulombera eddwa ojja kutereera olunaku olusembayo mu mwezi mba n'eddwa eyawamu ffenna n'abalwadde bange abakadde n'abapya. Salaamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Kitalo ddala saba Allah kosi nono mubaka naona mubaka agenda modi za kazindaalo ayo asobola okutwala mu maaso omulimu. But I have this to say in a minute. President wange nina ekigambo kyempulidde ekyogerwa aba imaani ennafu. Obusiraamu buli complete. Obusiraamu diini nzijuvu. Olw'okufa kwa Segirinya buliddeyo abagamba bw'oba ensi etutawaanyiza ki? Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Mr. President, Erinnya nze Goreti Namuga, omubaka wa Parliament w'Amawanga County, kitalo nnyo ddala. Muka sentence Segirinya yagamba ekigambo kino ng'afudde Nairobi. Yagamba nti Namuga singa Katonda ampa omukisa n'enziramu n'enzira engulu n'empeereza badde kukola kye bayita rebranding. Yagamba nti abadde atambuliza nnyo obulamu mu kusaagasaaga nga ne bwe yafuna ebizibu n'alwala abantu baali balowooza nti asaaga. N'agamba singa Katonda aba amuwadde obulamu n'addamu agenda kubijjawo ebyokusaaga mulabe Segirinya omupya. Ekyannaku ekyo tetukirabyeko. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Tweyanzenge.
Mr. President, sir. The family of my brother representing Soroti City West. You people who are here, Mr. President, sir, the people who are in charge of the country today, me, I am 41 years. Those who are presiding over the country today took charge of this country when they were our age. Do not wait for Chagulanyi to tell you what to do. Do what you must do. People who are torturing us today, who are tormenting us today, no one told them to go to the bush. They went and they took charge of the country. For you, you are waiting to be told what to do. Do what to do with your vote. I am a member of the FDC. I have come here to mourn my brother, a member of the National Unity Platform. The problem is not DP. Our problem is not UPC. Our problem is not FDC. Our problem is NRM, not NRM. For you people of NRM, a few of you, and not there are few, some of them are here. If you are here, listen to us. If you are here, listen to us. We are now more than organized than before. Mr. President, sir, I have come here to join you to mourn one of your colleagues. As a colleague in Parliament, tomorrow I know I will again speak in Parliament. Our people are being abducted. Our people are being killed. Our people, they are facilitating the early death of our people. We are not saying, we are not pinpointing that so and so killed so and so. But we are saying some of you are facilitating the early death of our people. May God bless you.
Naddala lusembeyo ebbanga eddene abadde nzaala ne Ssewanyana. Basibo ne bannyabo tetugenda kusonyiwa gavumenti eno paka bagenda ne bawayiza nze ne Honorable Segirinya balooya baffe ne batulwanirira tusobole okufuna obwenkanya nga tuyita mu bbeeyo tujje twejanjabe tuweereze n'abantu baffe kubanga ebiwandiiko ebiraga obulamu bwaffe bwali butambula byaliwo nga biraga nti tebwe bulungi. Naye gavumenti eyabasibira mu ggwa n'egaana okutuwa akakalu paka bwe yakatuwanga eraba tuweddeyo okusingira ddala muganda wange Segirinya Muhammad. Segirinya Muhammad otusadde nnyo. Segirinya ondegedde omugugu omunene nnyo kubanga ensonga ze baatuwayiririzaako zikyali mu kooti. Tukyagenda mu maaso n'okwoza ne gavumenti eno. Naye solo pulezidenti wange nkugamba era nkulayirira nti tetulina musango gwonna gwe twazza era olunaku lugenda kutuuka amazima geerage mu nsi yonna ne mu ebaddu. Maama wa Segirinya amaziga wagagaba tuli mu kkomera. Mbadde njagala nnyo Honorable Segirinya adde bulamu ajje asobole okuweereza n'okuweereza abantu be tekisobose. Ebigambo bingi sijasobola kubimalayo kitalo nnyo Honorable Segirinya.
Kitalo ddala saba Allah kozi nono mubaka naona mubaka agenda modi za kazindaalo ayo asobole okutwala mu maaso omulimu. But I have this to say in a minute. President wange nina ekigambo kye mpulidde ekyogerwa aba imaani ennafu. Obusiraamu buli complete. Obusiraamu diini nzijuvu. Olw'okufa kwa Segirinya buliddeyo abagamba bw'oba ensi tutawaanyiza ki?
Wano kukungubagira kuba omusajja wo Segirinya. Mr. Segirinya Muhammad musajja gwe twatandika naye ebyobufuzi. Nze wakayima musoka ensereko tewali bintu byonna bye tutatambudde naye ne Segirinya. Naye akaseera kano kannaku era nkusaasidde nnyo Mr. President ne ttiimu yo olw'okufiira musajja w'enkwatangala. Kitalo. People power. People power. Our power. NUP everywhere. Mr. President, wamu n'obukulembeze obw'ekibiina kyaffe wamu n'abantu benna abakuŋŋaanye olunaku olwaleero.
Uganda Eyenkya.